Chad, you know what the best part of doing Sequelibrium really is?
Chatting with you.
I was going to say unapologetically watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre at 5:30 in the morning and not having to feel like a psycho for it. But
5:30 in the morning.
yeah, I got up, dude, and I watched that shit.
That might be the best time to watch it.
I will admit, the whole time watching it, I felt like Michael Scott in The Office when he's eating ice cream at 10 a.m. and he's like, there's never a wrong time for ice cream. Just like there's never a wrong time for a movie about a cannibalistic family. And I think that's fucking fantastic.
You ready for this?
I'm ready for this. Hey, welcome to Sequelibrium.
Well, yes, welcome, people.
Yeah, we got to get that in. My name's Mike.
Chad.
And today we're doing hot off the presses, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Netflix
edition, not part 2 like you would think, because that is the direct sequel. This isn't 1.5, what happened to the Sawyer family in between 1974 and 1980 something. This is like 50 years and not 50 years. 50, almost 50, 74. We're looking at 48 years into the future. Yeah.
So this is present day.
This is present day. This is present day Texas Chainsaw 2. Take it away, dude. You watched the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre with your daughter.
Yes, but get this.
Okay.
I watched the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Shut the fuck up.
For the first
time, I've had sex to this movie 2 different times.
Ever.
And this is the first time you've seen it.
First time I've seen it.
Oh my God, dude. I was going to go into this talking about all the fucking different Texas Chainsaw Massacres. I was going to use this time to talk about how 2, 3, The Next Generation, The Beginning, the remake, fucking all these other Chainsaw movies.
All lost on me.
All lost on you. I want to fucking know. These people want to know what you thought about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Toby Hopper masterpiece.
First, does this ruin Does this ruin my film buff street cred?
Dude, just a little.
Just a little?
Just a little.
Okay.
Because this is like, dude, I'm watching this movie and I've seen it a few times, handfuls of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking, there is a reason why movies like this don't exist. Because it's already been fucking done. Because you cannot get fucking better than that.
Yeah.
That fucking movie, dude. What did you think? Holy shit. I mean, you already knew who Leatherface was, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And I've seen the clips that they use for everything. Him running through at the end. As a matter of fact, I was just waiting for that part.
Oh, God, dude, right?
I would say, the first thing I'll say is I think that this final girl,
Sally,
is maybe the best ever.
Dude, totally. Went through such fucking trauma.
Yeah.
Dude, her lines were just scream the whole fucking time. Not once was not inappropriate. Like, it was like, keep it going. It just keeps making the scenes just more and more terrifying.
Yeah. No, she made it to the point where she made me appreciate Final Girls more.
Did you ever see that?
Than I ever have.
Did you ever see that movie, Final Girls?
Oh, no.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's like these 2 girls who kill their entire class.
Yeah, I'm not speaking of the movie.
I know.
I'm speaking of.
I'm just saying. But no, totally.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she fucking like the way she got away in that truck, just fucking laughing at the end of all this shit, and it's just like, I survived, which is why I can't wait. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go.
Because this one is about Sally. The real Sally, she passed away in 2014, so this is somebody else. But still, it's a really neat like continuation on her story. Like I was saying, there's all these other sequels. How can you call this one a sequel? But it's like it's like the new fucking Halloween shit, dude. It's like this movie is basically just like that movie where it's like bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back, bringing the old victim back for that one final fucking stand, you know?
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah? Did you love it?
I first time, keep this in mind.
Yeah.
I liked it, and I will definitely watch it again.
So what chainsaw movies have you seen?
I haven't.
You've never seen any chainsaw
I haven't
movies.
seen
so
any
you've never
chainsaw
seen
movie.
the Jessica Biel one.
No.
He's gonna kill you.
So when you
He's
compared,
gonna kill all of us.
When you compared the Child's Play franchise,
where it's like played out,
to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise on that podcast,
yeah.
Again, it was lost on me because
that's
I'm
true.
not
I forgot
familiar.
About that. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the.
That's
Texas
right.
Chainsaw
And when I told you you're
Massacre.
going to get an education, that's true. You are going to get an education. So, like, what did you think of Leatherface? First off, being that this is the first time you've seen the movie and seen Leatherface,
Loved it.
it's fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's so terrifying because he's so like Gunnar Hansen, I was reading it on the trivia. Like I said, there's just so much fucking wealth of knowledge on it. Went to a school for mentally handicapped kids to learn the movements and stuff because he's supposed to be playing a mentally challenged person. Like, that's the whole Leatherface character. He's just like, you know, he's scared.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he's killing these people is just like a harmless animal. You're in my fucking territory.
Yeah.
And he's fucking killing you.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of the things that I read in it was that, like, he did it so well and he tried so hard to not make it offensive, which is so cool being 1974 where that is a concern. And the community, you know, came back and said that he did a great job by not being offensive, but playing a mentally challenged person, you know, so not Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder. I mean, dude, yeah, terrifying to the max. Fucking the way he runs through that door, the whole family dinner scene. Oh my
yes.
God, dude.
Yes.
And you know, the sausage that Franklin had in his mouth, like a stogie, you know, that's like human meat. You know, they're when they leave that gas station, they're like, "We got barbecue." It's like, you got fucking barbecue.
Yeah, the van scene. I mean,
dude.
Holy shit!
He's just like, "I got a knife too. I got a knife too."
Yeah.
Okay.
When this was over, I was feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was getting ready to watch it. My 18-year-old walked in. I said, "Watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with me." She said, "Okay." I was surprised. There was no resistance. She sat down. We watched it. When the credits started to roll, she breaks out in laughter. And it's kind of hard with my 18-year-old. It's hard to get her to laugh. You know, I mean, she's very funny herself, but to get her to just like, you know, barrel over and hold her stomach, but she just breaks out into laughter and she stops and she says, "That was so bad."
And not like bad, like that's fucking cool, like
no,
like
not like
a new
rad.
bad where it's really terrible.
That's the way it came across.
Was it the whole John Larroquette, which did you know that was John Larroquette doing the narration in the beginning, also known as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
IMDb trivia, he got paid a joint for that. And that's how the trivia leads you. So, like, you know where it has like the first quote and then you're like, you get into it. The first one is John Larroquette was paid one marijuana joint for his narration. And then that's what led me to everything. I'm like, ooh, if someone's getting paid in weed to do this movie,
wow,
what other shit don't I know about? So was that like that she thought was bad, or was it like the rotting fucking corpses or the fucking radio broadcasting of like telling you what's happening? You know, grave robbing is happening in this small Texas town.
And the editing, I'm gonna say, was phenomenal.
They did that on purpose.
Well, naturally.
Well, no. I mean, the way they edit it, as in you don't know what happened to fucking Jerry or Kirk or Pam. You don't know. All you saw was Pam getting hooked. All you saw was Leatherface using the saw in front of her. You know, I mean, fucking dude was like lying over, but there was like no gore. Like there was specifically like a thing said that Toby Hooper was specifically going for a PG rating.
Wow.
By minimalizing, by editing it that way where it's more you don't know what's happening, which makes it more terrifying.
Exactly.
And it made me think, well, fucking Weekend at Bernie's 2 was PG and it's got titties.
Yeah.
And this had no swear words, no nudity. You did not see anyone getting killed. I mean, you saw Franklin get sawed, but you didn't see fucking visceral or guts. And yet it was getting an X-rated because of like how fucking scary it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
So did she like it at all?
I think she liked it more than she let off.
Like she kind of had to have this whole like, whatever, Dad.
I mean, I almost think
this isn't cool.
Yeah, I almost think. Yeah, exactly. I almost think that the fact that she laughed so hard when it was over speaks to how good the film is in a weird way.
Totally.
To be honest,
well,
I mean that's a strange thing to say, but because it took me by surprise.
So real bones, real dead animals. That whole dinner scene, it was like 100-degree weather, so all the food's fucking rotting, and like I was thinking the budget was only $30,000. Somebody actually had to go and probably an unpaid intern build those fucking sets, build that shit that's in that house, that fucking horror show. What a cool fucking job, dude. That would have been. Like, yeah, I would have done that shit for free. Fuck yeah.
There were one or two shots of the bones hanging that I thought maybe were unnecessary, or
like when Franklin was like yelling for Sally when everyone was upstairs, when he like finally gets in there into the doorway.
Maybe. Yeah.
One of the things that I also read on the trivia was the dark humor that people like didn't like, that it had humor in it. Like Franklin like getting all pissed off, and the old man always constantly yelling at fucking Leatherface.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
I mean, yeah, right. I did too. I thought the humor added like so much to it. And
little David felt a little David Lynch, if I'm being honest.
Right,
at moments, the characters themselves,
because you're laughing at the fact that this woman is gonna get killed.
Yeah, like the guy in the van. What's his name? The one who cuts himself.
Oh God, he doesn't get a name until the second one, and it's Nubbins, but in the thing it's just Hitchhiker.
Nubbins, huh?
Yeah. So I'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, he definitely reminded me of a Lynch character.
Yeah, like psychotic and like lighting his picture on fire.
He was probably my favorite character. Really, I mean, think of playing that role.
The dude who played that guy was a Vietnam vet.
No shit.
He said Vietnam was easier than filming this movie.
Oh wow!
Because of the grueling heat and the exhaustion. Like, I mean, people were, I guess, I was reading, working like 16 hours days in the hottest summer in Texas.
Holy moly!
And I mean, just to add on to that too, that's another thing. It's like Gunnar Hansen only got paid $800 to do this movie, Leatherface. And look how great we're just bitching about how little we are paid for what we do, and look at the work that they put in this movie and how fucking great it was. I mean, Gunnar Hansen getting paid $800 to be Leatherface, that doesn't sound like much, but the dude like only had one costume. No one wanted to be around him because he stunk so badly. The heat, I'm sure, would make performance difficult, but they fucking powered through it, dude. Look how great this movie is. Probably zero talent from any of these people. Like almost like Evil Dead, where it's just like, I know a guy. You know,
Yeah.
do you know? Oh yeah, I know a drummer, and he's just like banging on,
Right.
Not very good at all. But like all of these people just fucking gave it their all, and it just turned this movie into just this fucking great horror film.
So do you think the movie studio, even though they paid him $800, eventually after this movie went on to be such a success, we're like, okay, here,
Like
they kick you back.
They kicked
a
you
little
back.
bit.
I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
there was like recontracts and shit, like with re-releases and everything. Plus, it was banned in several countries until like the late 80s and early 90s
Yeah.
and shit. So yeah, I'm sure he's gotten kickbacks. Plus, you know, he's fucking the original Leatherface. Leatherface has been played by so many fucking other people, and like he's the best one.
You mentioned the gore, and I do think, again, I like this movie. I do think I would have liked it slight bit more if when he hooked that girl,
And you saw the back.
there was a quick shot from the back of the hook in her and the blood.
Oh,
dripping
totally,
down.
totally, dude. Totally. But that's what you get with
Just that one. Just that one. I thought every little subtle thing and, you know, loose ends almost were really well done.
Yeah.
But, you know, the way he distracted from the gore with just like...
I think that
Yeah.
was fucking rad.
Yeah.
I really never
Yeah.
even thought about that until I read that IMDb trivia post. Like,
Yeah. But that one shot, I do feel it was missing that one shot. I wanted to see the hook.
so that's what I mean. We could probably do Texas Chainsaw. I mean, it's not a sequel; it's a prequel, but the beginning. But anyways, in the Texas Chainsaw 2003 or 4 version with Jessica Biel, it's almost just as good.
Really?
For a modern version, still based in the 70s, Arlie Emery as the old man is fucking rad, dude.
Huh.
He's not funny whatsoever. That movie's not funny at all. Like, he's fucking great. Like, he plays that character really great. But you definitely get more of the gore, more of the, you know, that kind of shit. I mean, Leatherface was great looking, but it wasn't like this Leatherface, where this Leatherface actually was scared of these people. Like when Sally's running down the stairs, and Leatherface and he runs through the door. You see him like someone popped around a corner and scared him.
Yeah.
And part 2, he's the same way, where he's like, again, not doing this. He's doing it in defense and not so much attack with Rusty, this DJ. But yeah.
Yeah.
The first one's a fucking masterpiece. So like part two is done by Toby Hooper. We keep saying both because I can't remember which way it goes without looking it up. Where like it's almost like 10 years later. And so God, I wish you would have seen it. It's so fucking good. I totally recommend watching it.
Okay.
It's real. It's a different Leatherface, same old man. The hitchhiker Nubbins is the other guy's Chop Top is his twin brother. And so he's dancing around. You know how Nubbins gets ran over by the fucking truck at the end of the movie? So all throughout Chainsaw 2, Chop Top is like has him attached to his waist and he's dancing with him and shit. And he calls him his brother. And then there's like Leatherface Chainsaw Massacre 3, which I barely remember. I don't really remember that one that well. I watched it once when I was a kid at my Aunt Dawn's house. I remember the promo shot is like an Excalibur type of situation where the Lady of the Lake's reaching her hand out, but instead of Excalibur, it's a fucking chainsaw. And then there was Chainsaw 4, I guess you could call it, The Next Generation, with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger.
No shit.
Watched it once, don't really know what it's about. I can't really fucking remember other than it's a cannibalistic family again. And then there's the remake, and then the remake of the beginning, and then there's Leatherface, which it's about Leatherface as a child. Some of the things that are different is that in this version, their name is the Sawyer family. And then in the other version, it's Hewitt. So it's like, I like this version a lot more.
I really can't speak to why I didn't ever watch them.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe because I had limited access when I was a kid. So unless it was on cable television or just happened to be on a free preview of a premium network or something, I was going to the video store, and a lot of those video stores in those small towns, like,
they wouldn't rent
if they did have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was probably rented out.
Oh, go ahead, rent it, little fella. It's only rated PG.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's like the Apple Dumpling Gang. You imagine Texas Chainsaw Massacre in one of those fucking
plastics,
the clamshells where it's like the Disney bars.
Yeah. The push points on the bottom of the package.
The thing I don't like about the fact that there's more than 2 Leatherface's chainsaw movies is that Leatherface is not a supernatural character. He's not Jason, who's like keeps getting brought back by lightning strikes through electric rods, and or Michael Myers, who's fueled by evil and hatred. He's just some guy who's got a mental disability, and when he dies, he dies. Like, and then the other thing I don't get is food's readily available in this gas station that these people own. If you notice in the backdrop, there's fucking Campbell's cans of soup. Why the fuck are they eating people? Why are they choosing to be cannibals? There's literally no need. There's a Whataburger down the fucking street. Just go get some fucking bacon sourdough burgers. Like, the whole story is that this town was basically this slaughterhouse ran the town. So kind of like Tommy Boy, where the fucking plant runs the town. Like, everyone works there.
Right.
And so the slaughterhouse goes out of business, and it causes food shortages, and that's what made this family resort to cannibalism. I mean, that's fucking how crazy do you have to be like, steak's not available? Well, I'm just gonna kill the first hitchhiker I fucking see then. I mean, that's why they were saying Grandpa is the best killer in this county, because he used to only be able to kill him with one swing. Do you remember the story in the beginning when Franklin was telling him about that?
Yeah.
Like, great fucking writing, dude.
Yeah.
Where it's just like everything is tied up. All, like, everything makes sense from start to finish. And then, like you said, like, or I guess like I said, wasn't that last 10 minutes just fucking great? Like at the start of the family dinner scene, all the way up to the end.
Oh, you know what I wanted to say too is the guy in the wheelchair. What's his name?
Franklin. So
when him and the hitchhiker were having that dialogue there in the van, after they kicked him out of the van, Franklin says something like, "Can you imagine just like cutting yourself like that?" And that almost made me think that he was going to commit suicide later in the film, and he wasn't going to be killed by Leatherface.
Yeah.
That's what ran through my mind.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Franklin and Sally is the connection to 2. So Dennis Hopper is their uncle, and so he's trying to solve their crime like 10 years later, and that's how all this shit came across. So like the Sawyer family was killing people to put in chili so they could win chili competitions. And I remember a scene in the first and the second one where like the judge is like takes a bite and she's like, "Ooh, what is that, a tooth?" Oh my god, dude, so good. I really highly recommend you watch part 2. Like the actual part 2. Like this new one on Netflix, even though it says in this sequel, so did fucking Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is what I brought up to you earlier. So that is, did you ever see that show? Did you ever watch New Girl?
Nope.
Okay, I don't remember her from anything other than this other show on HBO called The White Lotus. It's really good. Fucking totally recommend watching it to, listeners and you. But she's in this Texas Chainsaw 3D where it's, back in the day when they're like, "Ooh, 3D's new technology. Let's do everything." Yeah. Chainsaw coming at you.
Yeah.
it's called In This Sequel. And I'm like, what? How is this a fucking sequel? Well, apparently she was like a Sawyer baby. And then when the police raided the Hewitt, this is that timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And they raided the place and they found her. And then she inherited this house and Leatherface is living in this basement. She's the only one who can control him.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, dude. Don't fucking waste your time with any of that shit. Just watch 1 and 2 and this one, and that's fucking it.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say about that. All right, let's watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, what else you got?
Give me 1 second.
Uh-huh.
I did have something.
Cut that bitch, Bubba. That's like from part 2, dude. There's so many great one-liners in part 2. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm glad that it was your first time, and I'm glad that we went that route instead of RoboCop.
Yeah, I'm happy we watched it, for sure.
Oh, God, this is going to be so fucking fun, then.
And it could have been the title itself when I was a kid. Like, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Doesn't it sound like
it
super
just sounds
scary?
like, I don't want to watch that. Why would I want to watch a Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Because, well, like you were saying, he's not supernatural.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think when I was a kid, those were the things I was attracted to because they were scary in a different sort of way.
Yeah. Because they're supernatural.
Exactly.
Because it's not real.
Exactly.
And this movie does a great job of saying based on a true story.
Right.
And my dad was like, yeah, that's a true story. That happened in Texas. Blah, blah, blah. And so my whole life, I'm thinking all the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 really fucking went down. And then you find out it's about Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So this movie is based on like a lot of the Ed Gein elements, grave robbing, cannibal, that kind of shit. Yeah. Yeah, but so that's the true story it's based on. Not some real fucking dude who wore fucking human flesh mask, which I just love, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. One of my favorite pops that I own is the Pretty Woman mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking cool.
He's the perfect size, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 6'4", and so he's supposed to be big and dumb, you know?
Yeah.
But like all the other Leatherfaces are like football player big. Well, Gunnar Hansen is just big.
Yeah.
He's not cut. He's not fucking pumping steroids. Like you ever watch The Program?
No.
You ever seen that movie
No.
about football kids? Oh, never mind. The reference is going to get lost on you. But one of the guys from that movie is Leatherface.
Huh.
Not in this one, but in the Jessica Biel bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyways.
New girl.
I know. It heard me. Oh, so one of the things I was going to tell you, you know how like in movies where it's like, you know, PG-13 for this, and the other thing. And then we're like rated R, strong sexual content, nudity. Well, that makes it worth watching. This shit has smoking as an option or as the reason why it's rated something. So I'm like, now people are like, oh, let's watch that. It's got smoking in it. All right. Leatherface, chainsaws. Here we go. That breaks over. Back to work. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a literal fucking massacre. This is what Chad was looking for in the definition of the word massacre. How many people did he kill? An entire fucking town, basically?
Yeah, at least 16.
All on a bus. Everyone just standing there screaming, holding their cameras out. I love the commentary that this movie had. One, I'm stoked that he killed all those, what they were referred to as gentrifuckers, buying up this fucking town. And what are the other things they were talking about? Guns. Guns was a big thing.
Social media.
Social media. The final girl was a school shooting victim. And what was the tool that she used to finish the game? A fucking gun. Who saw all that shit coming?
Yeah.
The corkscrew at the beginning gas station. I told you they're going to use that as a weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, they were spoon feeding us every single fucking thing that was going to happen in this movie.
That being said, it is way better than everything I've read about it up to this point.
I mean, I really haven't read anything other than just a headline saying it's a stinker. And I'm fully agree.
Fully agree.
Fully agree. I mean, in the terms of the first one and the second one, the original sequel, This is what I was saying about how Leatherface is not supernatural. Leatherface was killed at the end of the second one. I mean, the story is done. So calling this one a sequel when there was already a sequel was like so upsetting to me. As a fan of sequels, I was really offended.
You knew she was going to die at the end too, but you didn't
Sally?
know. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
certainly wasn't expecting that.
Dude,
So no, the last girl. The curly-haired girl.
Okay, well, we'll get into some of that shit in a minute here. I just have some of my gripes.
I don't like Sally. Let me say that.
The Jamie Lee Curtis wannabe character, 100%.
Don't like it.
Did you see the new Halloween movies?
One of them. I don't remember which one.
The 2018
I think maybe,
Halloween.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this is just straight up fucking like, let's do this shit all over again, just like what Halloween did. So basically what happened after 1974 is with the first Chainsaw movie is Leatherface goes to this orphanage. Did you see the year on the picture that had his face crossed out? 1975. So like basically this shit happened, and then the old man was like, one of my sons is killed, the other one's an idiot, I'm just gonna send him to the orphanage and I'm gonna be done with this shit. I'm done with killing people, I'm done with eating people.
Or he died himself.
Or maybe he died himself.
Yeah.
I mean, who killed him? I mean, there was no gap between the first one and this one, other than the second one from 1980, whatever.
Rotten human meat.
But I mean, yeah, dude, that was God. I love that about the first one. All the food was rotting at the dinner table scene because of how hot it was. It just adds so much more to that movie. But like, as I love the second one so fucking much that I felt like this one should not have pretended that one never existed.
Yeah.
Like they were like 1 and 2 were scary, funny movies. They weren't like slapstick funny, but they had funny elements to it. Those were great in their own right, and I think they should have been left alone. Yeah. With this movie, it should have been this movie should never have existed.
And if you missed the gore in the original, they make up for it in this one.
100 fucking percent.
And that's probably, it's weird because that's what makes the first one so great.
The lack of gore.
The lack of gore.
Yeah.
In the way they do it, the way it's filmed and edited and so on and so forth. But the only thing that saves this one is the gore.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I would have said about it. The gore is what saved this. I mean, what was your favorite kill scene?
Ooh. There was a lot of good ones.
I mean, there was that big massacre bus scene. There was
probably that.
Richter.
I mean, probably that.
There was Richter. There was Dante, the dude who got his face slashed, and then the curly hair girl at the end. Maybe from Arrested Development. That's not who it was, but that's like, I mean, I'm sure she was like, no, I'm going to take my character in this direction. Give me some curly hair and high waisted jeans.
Yeah.
I love Richter getting killed when fucking Leatherface just kept smashing this dude's head in.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to come up and be like, after these guys. Like, how did this guy survive?
Yeah, the kills were great.
The kills were awesome. The one that you mentioned earlier when they were like, oh, we're good, we're safe, let's get out of here. And then fucking Leatherface pulls her through the window. That is so fucking cool. It just saws her head off and then holds it so she could see. The final girl, the one who survived the school shooting, is standing up in this Tesla. It's doing its auto drive. Fuck you, rich people. Turns around and is watching Leatherface holding up her sister's head. Fucking cool as shit. That was my favorite part.
Yeah,
totally my favorite part. The other is the way Sally gets killed. Fucking Leatherface puts his chainsaw up in her and he's sawing it while it's in her, just fucking eating her insides. Yeah, she's still alive. Still alive. She didn't make it, but yet she was still alive enough to do a fucking final shoot.
And again, him getting shot twice, falling into the water, and then those girls having that dialogue for who knows how fucking long, and then he comes back at the end.
Yeah, they act
little supernatural.
I mean, in these movies, do horror movies not exist?
Right.
Like, the shit's done. Get the fuck up and get out of there. Don't like have, maybe I will move here with you.
Yeah. Why try to run into him? Just drive off.
Giving him every excuse to get enough time to get out of the water. And yet again, supernatural. What the fuck? Just a regular dude. who just a regular dude who kills people.
Yeah.
Like the first Chainsaw movie, the saw is on his leg, and he's screaming in pain. He feels pain.
Yeah.
And this one, he's shot, stabbed, sawed through the fucking chin. Like, that was the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Why didn't you fucking just gut him with it? She
Yeah.
just fucking like uppercutted him with it.
Yeah.
Like it was Mortal Kombat, and he was getting too close.
Well, and again, at that point, the guy should have been dead. Shot. Sure.
Yeah.
Slice him in the chin. He should still fucking have died by this point already.
And then the end credit scene where he's walking back to his home like he's Rambo at the end of the fourth one or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, going back to my house, guys.
Yeah, the end of the movie was so great. They should have left that out for sure.
Without that stupid post-credit scene.
Yeah.
It was such a waste. It just, I mean, what, you going to give us a second Chainsaw 2?
Right.
Like, I'll watch it. But I don't give a shit. If this was done, there's not gonna be another Chainsaw movie. I'm gonna be great. I'm not gonna call for it like there needs to be another Nightmare movie.
Yeah.
But like Leatherface doesn't need to continuously be coming back and killing people.
Mm-hmm.
His purpose has been served.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Stinker.
It was a stinker. What would you give it?
I honestly would probably give it a 5.
I mean, that's pretty generous. I'd give it a 4.
Yeah.
4 for gore.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
4 for gore.
4 for gore.
like
And
that.
I get that specifically from this movie called Summer School. I've brought it up before on this show. There's these two guys, Chainsaw and Dave, who love Texas Chainsaw Massacre so much.
Mm-hmm.
And they do these bargaining chips with their teacher to, like, you know, okay, well, you want us to study. What are you going to give us then? And so what Chainsaws was, they want to hold a classic screening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the 8mm style, for this foreign exchange student. And whenever they're like movie review guys, and one of the things they're like trying to sell this movie is they're giving it its ratings, and he says they give it 4 for gore.
Nice.
But there's no gore in it. In the first one, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it works for this. I give this movie a 4 out of 10 for that gore.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I mean, it was nothing.
Yeah, because I'm guessing you give the first a 10.
I'd give the first like an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
out of
Same
10.
here.
I'd give
Same
it an 8
here.
out of 10.
I'd give it an 8.
I can't go too perfect, but it's just solid gold at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. So did you know that there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game on the Atari?
No.
Yeah, and what you do is you're Leatherface and you're just going around killing people.
You kidding?
No.
Wow.
And I thought it was funny. I think that's funny because it's like, this is a horror movie that's a video game. Video games are for children. Nobody jumped down the throats about violence in video games.
Yeah, well, have
with
you
a
seen
game
the
like that.
gameplay? Because you say going around killing people, but you think back to the Atari.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
every
see-
game I've ever had was up, down,
Right, yeah, left, right.
right.
That's exactly what it is. I first saw it on the Angry Video Game Nerd YouTube channel, and then I was looking up Texas Chainsaw stuff, and I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Basically, the way Leatherface looked was the chainsaw looked like a fucking giant dick that just like it just had like little knobs that went in motion, so you know it was moving, and you just run into people.
Was there blood?
No, you just run into people, killing people, collecting points, and that's it. Yeah. Classic, right?
That'd be cool to have.
I mean, I think there's going to be another one coming up because I looked one that said it's in production, and Kane Hodder is standing in for the Leatherface. I'm assuming mocap style.
Huh.
With Kane Hodder is Jason,
Yeah.
in a lot of the Jason movies. So I mean, he's got that like build for Leatherface that they want, but to me, I just want classic short, pudgy guy with lifts in his shoes to be 6'3".
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, that Leatherface is so fucking cool. Now, granted, I was scared in this one. I'm like, oh shit, raising my legs all the time.
Yeah.
Like when Leatherface threw the fucking chainsaw at that chick's feet to like get her, but that's only because, I mean, when I'm watching Jaws, dude, I'm pulling my feet up all the time because I'm just like, oh god,
Right.
what if that was me?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. And I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to watch it. I'm glad there was a purpose to watch it, though, because I don't think I would quite enjoy it as much as I did had I not had this purpose.
Yeah.
Like just watching it just to watch it and then be like, well, that's a fucking dumb movie. And then.
Yeah, normally I hate the use of social media, but I got to admit, when he was massacring that bus, and you could see the comments, and it was like, fire! Whoa, cool, where's that?
I want to go there. And the dude who's like, do anything and you'll be canceled, bro. Leatherface gives a shit. When you're watching movies like this, where it's like clearly it's just this woman and Leatherface living in this orphanage, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think shopping trips for them were like? Like when curly haired girl Melody is going through the drawer and there's like all these Q-tips. like this lady going to Walmart and like, excuse me, ma'am, do you have any Q-tips? No. Well, you're gonna rot in hell, all of you.
Well, that's why I was asking you, how many times do you think he's replaced the chain?
Yeah, I know. Like, do you see Leatherface going to an Ace Hardware store? Excuse me, sir. Where's your lawnmower blades at?
He's just grunting.
Your chainsaw blades. Yeah. Well, again, that's another thing I read in the trivia was that he's supposed to be mute. So Toby gave him all these, like, these are what you're supposed to, this is what you're saying, but you need to come up with gibberish to, like, say this.
Yeah.
And, he was bummed because he didn't have a chance to actually say lines.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That would be a bummer, being the villain and not having those.
Not having any lines. Yeah. I mean, really, all it was the old man asked Leatherface something, and he was like, mm-hmm. And that was it. And then he just made like grunts and like pig squealing sounds. Oh my god, dude. When he pulls fucking Kirk into that fucking room and then just shuts the door. God, what a fucking iconic, scary scene.
Yeah.
And they tried it with this when he killed Dante, when he like was going through those double doors in the kitchen.
Didn't work.
No. And the other thing that didn't work was like did you notice they were trying to throw sounds into the music, those sounds from like the camera flash bulbs.
Right.
Didn't work.
Yeah,
at all.
You're right.
So fucking upsetting. One of the things that I read in the IMDb trivia, which I hope everyone goes to IMDb trivia whenever we're watching a movie, because there's some fucking facts in there and some awesome shit. But the soundtrack to Chainsaw was just music that was played in slaughterhouses.
No kidding.
I mean, you notice in the movie there's no music.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat too.
Yeah, I wish they would have left out that song they were listening to on the way to the town.
All the fucking...
I pointed it out when it started playing. That was really the most... I mean, it just takes you out of it.
They had stupid music in this.
Yeah.
They had music in it. I don't know why, just to have music in it.
Right.
But the other one has nothing, and it just makes it perfect.
Yeah.
Or even in like the second one... these dudes are getting killed by Leatherface, and they call a radio station because they're like being drunk college bros harassing this radio lady, and she records the call. And so it's like she plays it on air to try to get like, do you guys know this? She was trying to call Lucky, the Dennis Hopper, the U.S. Marshal that was helping her, uncle to Sally and Franklin. I'm like, all these fucking thoughts in my head. Anyways, Chop Top goes to the radio station because they're supposed to kill her because she has evidence of them.
Right.
And he's like, can you play that song? Bang, bang. It's my fave. Like, that was the music in the second one. Was like her playing people being murdered. Anyways. Let's get into some IMDb bullshit for this movie.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. I just hope everybody knows I left that in there specifically to see if you can make it past that shit. All right. So IMDb's rating is 4.9 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. I'm right there. I'm right at a 4.7.
I want to
go below that.
You want to? Okay. I'll read a 4, but then I'm going to go for the 10s because we don't like this movie that much. And I want to read the ones of the people who do like it that much.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking crazy. A poor film, undeserving of the name. Having been sheltered for half a century, Leatherface is back to cause more mayhem. what can you say? I waited ages to see this film. I had really high expectations. Kind of like those I had for Halloween too. Oh, I started a long one, so I'm not even going to finish that. I'm sorry.
Really?
everybody.
You waited ages to see this film?
This movie was really only talked about for the last 4 years.
Like, did you always expect a sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
And
come again?
Well, I mean, and before that, all you had were those other Chainsaw movies.
Yeah.
So were you hoping for like original story with like the original casts? Or are you hoping for some new made up bullshit with Steven Dorff as the fucking sheriff?
Right.
Okay, here's a short one. Texas lame saw mediocre.
Is this 1 or a 4?
This is a 4. A geriatric lumberjack carves up a bunch of annoying internet influencers. Part of it are outright laughable and how stupid the characters are behaving. I would normally root for the villain, but not even this Leatherface deserves that. Want to have a better time? Count the number of times the letter V appears in the end credits. I don't know what that means, but I feel like I might have missed something. Because if that's a good time,
why the letter V?
Why the letter is well, this is the 5th one, sort of. I don't fucking know. Oh, and as if I needed more proof that self-driving cars are dumb. So listen. Self-driving cars are stupid because if you're driving away on them, looking through the sunroof, you might see your sister's head being held up by a maniac.
I was going to say, it got her away. Nothing dumb about that.
I know, yeah. Like, well, go to Austin. Boop. I mean, of course you had to have a self-driving car because none of these fuckers could drive.
Yeah.
The bus that everyone was on, what the fuck happened there when they were taking off?
Yeah.
Like Leatherface is some velociraptor running alongside of him and kept knocking it over.
Yeah, I was wondering that same thing.
And then when they get Sally's car, they just fucking drive into the auto shop. So of course they need self-driving vehicles because they don't have driver's license.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
my
when
God.
she got into the bus covered in shit, she should just have been like, there's somebody out there killing people. We need to drive away. You know?
And nobody was saying anything.
Yeah,
like these two
they
girls are
wouldn't
walking
stop.
through them covered
Right,
in blood.
exactly.
And then that banker is not telling them, hey guys, dude just got his fucking face slashed. We need to hide out here. But yet she's letting everyone do cocaine in the back of the bus, still fucking partying.
Yeah.
All right, here's one last 4 before I jump into the 10s.
Okay.
Millennial, please die. I don't know if it was intentional. I assume it was. The casts are mostly insufferable young people who I wanted to see die. The 2 sisters were sort of okay, I guess.
See, and I wouldn't even say I wanted to see any of them die. Really.
I didn't want to see
I
them
think
die.
that's the one thing. If you can compare this one to the original in any way at all, it's that the characters were likable for the most part. And that's the thing about their deaths that make them more impactful. Is you like these characters, you kind of want to see them live. There's no reason to watch them die.
I wanted to see that little girl, the little one live, the one who survived the school shooting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is this how she's going to go out?
Right.
You know, she survived that shit. Like the whole, I mean, obviously that's, a thing that happens in the real world.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think there was that little bit of a more of emotional, like you don't want her to die like this. You want her to pick up the gun and fucking shoot him like the writer intended.
At the same time, too, it's not like the others didn't have redeeming qualities. There weren't like many just fuck faces. You didn't care about.
Don't do anything, bro. You
Right.
get canceled. Like that dude, I was like, fucking shot that guy up.
Yeah. No meatheads, really.
No meatheads. Just like the
As far as
cliche.
the main characters go.
Just sockless, loafer wearing people who shop at Whole Foods. There's this really long one, and I'm going to read it personally at home. But the title is Texas Chainsaw Massacre returns in a follow-up that aims for legacy sequels like Halloween 18, but instead continues Texas Chainsaw Massacre's legacy of mediocre follow-ons. It's really long, and I think this person has the same gripes as I do about Chainsaw 2 already existed. Like, this is not, you have the new Turtles movie, and then you have Secret of the Ooze, and then it's like, oh, that one sucks so much. So let's just pretend that one didn't exist and start from the first one. And that's fine, because that second one sucked.
Oh, by the way,
but not Chainsaw 2.
I keep thinking about the fact that you think you would rather watch Bulletproof 2 than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You know, I thought about that too after I re-listened to that, and I was like, maybe I feel differently, but I don't know, maybe I don't.
Think about the nostalgia alone is enough to make me want to watch it over Bulletproof 2.
Yeah, I mean that's what I should have said. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, here you go. 10 out of 10 for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Love the liberal wokies getting chopped up. Yeah, it was woke, but in a strange way, it backfired on the producers this time. Every single actor other than the older sister showed you exactly why the world has changed so much and not for the better. I mean, the pure satisfaction meant I was rooting for Leatherface. Even Jordan Peele got a mention. What a shame he wasn't in it. Did Jordan Peele get a mention?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
But who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit? Here's another one. Great to see wokesters get wrecked. Corrupt wokesters get absolutely annihilated by Leatherface. What's not to love? They kill his mom and he snaps, brutally assaulting them, cutting them up piece by piece.
Oh, speaking of snaps, when
Jesus.
He snaps that guy's arm in half.
And then uses the fucking bone.
Oh,
so that, like,
fuck.
Leatherface is not Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Leatherface is not, what's the word I'm looking for? Spontaneous when it comes to killing.
Right.
You know, how did he kill people before? Hit him on the head with a hammer. Hang her on a meat hook. Use a fucking chainsaw. This one, he's using the chainsaw as a fucking decoy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Leatherface is that type of brain capacity
Right.
to be like, let me trick you to thinking I'm over here. But really, I'm going to come out over here.
Right.
I like, that's what I don't like about that, the way they did that character.
Yeah.
You know, Leatherface is just this big dumb idiot with a chainsaw who's killing because the family needs him to. He's killing, you know, like I said, the people who are intruding on his space. The old man's like, I don't like killing people, but we got to do it.
Yeah.
That's their job. The two brothers is to kill people. In this one, it's not like he's killing people just to kill people, but why the fuck did he walk away from Sally when she was in his room?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that is.
Like when she's like, remember me!
Yeah.
Say my name!
When she's in the closet, he opens the closet door and
grabs
the dress or whatever it is.
Yeah, I almost wonder, like, so the only faces Leatherface wore in the first one were women's faces. And in Generations, the one with Matthew McConaughey, he comes to dinner dressed as a woman. And like the whole thing is like him wearing a dress with the chainsaw and the mask.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the first one, he wore 3 different masks. I don't remember the first one. The second one was an old lady, and then the third one was the pretty woman, the dinner with the blush and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say like, are they trying like the cross-dressing thing? That's what Ed Gein was all about. He was trying to make like a woman's suit. So I don't know, maybe. But this one, he wore that lady's face and, you know, put the dress on over him.
Yeah.
He was like trying to be her.
Yeah.
So like I almost want, because like they never mentioned the grandma in the first one, but they show her in the same room with the grandpa. And she doesn't have a face. So I almost wonder if like Leatherface took the face to be like, you know, she was kind to me, so I'm like trying to be her.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's kind of like the story.
Right.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, if you know, hit me up on Instagram at SEQUELIBRIUM_. I totally will love to talk to people.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, and you can email me too, SEQUELIBRIUMPodcast@gmail. I said Hotmail one episode.
Did you?
I hope people realize I meant Gmail, because who the fuck is creating new Hotmails? Like, your Hotmail account is supposed to have some dumb emo name if you still use it, but you're not fucking creating new ones. But yeah, I mean, I love Leatherface. I have a Leatherface toy from the first movie, from the movie Maniacs. It's really cool. It comes with a bucket with body parts. It has a foot, an arm, and someone's head.
No kidding.
It looks like Jerry's head because it's got glasses but no afro.
Sweet.
And comes with a hammer and the chainsaw. And I always prop it where he's holding it up over his head because that's the fucking classic. I love that they added the dance in this movie.
Do you love that?
But I hate how fast it was. Leatherface in the first one when he did it, he was slow. He was sluggish when he was swinging it around. This one, it was like,
well, it was very quick, which I thought was good.
Yeah,
because you're never gonna top the original as far as that end scene of him, turning around with this fucking chainsaw
with the sun rising in the backdrop too. So fucking cool.
That first one too. I love that shot when they're waiting for him to come back. One guy's like, "Oh no, you guys stay here. I'm gonna go try and find him."
Oh, when Jerry left to go find him.
Yeah, and then it's
so
the
that trail
blonde,
between the two sheds.
It's blonde, so he's sitting in his wheelchair, and the light from the car, that headlight. It's a really, really pretty shot.
I think
there are a lot of pretty shots in that original.
In the original,
film.
Totally. Yeah, there was a lot of the first one, because this is probably the first time I had watched it with subtitles, and just like getting more of the story of like when the old man's getting mad at the hitchhiker. They saw you because he was fucking there robbing graves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So many like connections. Glad we did this, dude. I'm glad we did this one. And I really want to do RoboCop, and I want to ask your permission. Can Mila do RoboCop with us?
Yeah, she could probably do RoboCop.
I was a kid when I saw RoboCop 2, and I was younger when I saw the first RoboCop, and I was wondering what the appeal to me as a kid to that movie was. And like, I want to know if she was like, oh yeah, Clarence Boddicker when he gets stabbed in the throat.
Yeah, I'll flutter with RoboCop. We'll do 1 and 2 sometime this week.
Bitches leave. Best fucking line. Yeah, that was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, it was okay.
Would you recommend people watch that movie?
Yeah. Even if you haven't seen the original, I would say watch this movie. As a matter of fact, if you haven't seen the original, it might make this movie a slight bit better.
You
might not be right there with the whole Sally aspect of the story, but I don't think it really matters that much because she was the worst part of the fucking movie.
Didn't even need to fucking be there. Didn't even need to be there. Like again, like I said, if you were gonna do a sequel to the first one, Part 2 already existed. They could have done Chainsaw 1.5, where the cops are raiding the fucking Sawyer farm because clearly Sally got away. She told people about it. What happened to Leatherface? Did he, escape and hide in a home? Nubbins is dead, so we don't have to worry about him. Fucking grandpa, this ancient old guy. Like, what fucking happened to these people?
Yeah, and with Sally in this one, too, I would have almost rather her just have been a seemingly normal old lady, like fucking having tea with her friends, and then she gets word of what happened somehow, and it, this fucking switch flips, and she becomes what we see, rather than her just kind of waiting around to kill Leatherface.
Slaughtering a pig.
Somebody you
for
don't
that
even know is alive. Yeah.
Sally, 50 years later, it's happening again. She fucking became a Texas Ranger. Did she devote 50 years to finding Leatherface, or did she solve other crimes?
Yeah.
Like what the TCM series with fucking Sally, Texas Ranger, fucking working with Tommy Lee Jones to get the fugitives. Some shit like that, the Texas Chainsaw spinoff, like that show Castle Rock. It's supposed to be tied to all these Stephen King things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know why. It has literally no connection to my idea for this TCM Sally Texas Ranger show. But hey, everybody, rate and review and follow the show on iTunes.
SEQUELIBRIUM at AOLonline.com.
You have mail. What else? Yeah, Spotify, eTunes, iTunes,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Did you already say YouTube?
Email sequelibriumpodcast@gmail.
Twitter.
Instagram. No, we're not on Twitter. Fuck that shit.
TikTok.
Sequelibrium on TikTok. Yeah, that's it.
Just search us.
Yeah.
You know how to search.
All right, everyone. We're going to be back with RoboCop 2 next.
Bye.
Bye.